Yo, what is up, everybody? Yo, so I am answering three questions plus a bonus question. Uh, the first question is, what was the process of this album? The process, it was it was actually quite different than the Abyss. It was actually a lot different, actually. The process, it was really long, but at the same time, it was hella short too. It probably only took me a couple of months uh, to make the album and know which direction I wanted to go. So the span of it probably took about like 5 months. The start of it, planning on what I wanted to be, starting with the album cover, starting with like how many tracks are gonna be on the album, and just kind of just fuck it around, kind of how I want it to sound. And I was like, well, since it's my fifth album, let's kind of pay some homage to the last albums. I don't really want it to sound like the old shit because I want it to sound like the new shit, but I kind of want to pay homage to that a little bit, which I feel like I do in a couple of tracks. Um, which honestly is pretty cool. I like that concept about it. So yeah, and then there was probably about like 2-3 months working on the album nonstop. Because once I start working on a project and I have my mind set on it, I'm gonna work on that project, and I'm gonna work on it, and it's really not that hard, It's pretty fucking easy, really. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, I was gonna have a couple people help me with it. I got some people's opinions, but they didn't get credited on the album because it was just their opinions. They didn't really, put anything towards the album. You know, if they did do something that went towards the album, they would be on the album. But the only person that really helped me was my mom on this album. Um, that's pretty much it. And the process of making a video, going through that clip by clip, editing. For Hourglass, actually, Hourglass was pretty cool. That was the last track for the album, second to last, I believe. It was, no, maybe it was like one of the first. I know From the Ground is the first ever track. That track was just supposed to be a single. From the Ground, that was supposed to be a single, but then I wanted to put on an album because I thought it was too good. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna kind of make an album like this, base it around this, and it didn't really work out. I mean, there are some tracks that could kind of fit with From the Ground on the album, some parts of the tracks, but yeah, man, going clip by clip with Hourglass. I wanted Hourglass to be something different, which Hourglass's music video was it was literally supposed to be a hourglass running out of sand, and then it was gonna be like an hourglass breaking, and then it was gonna like have all my albums fade into the screen, and then it was gonna have them fade away, and then it was gonna have like the deluxe. It was going to have the alternate versions, the collector's editions, and really, it's pretty much it. And then it was all gonna fade away, fade to black, and then it was gonna say thank you, which tied into the thank you talk later on the album. And then From the Ground, I think everybody already knows by now, From the Ground was supposed to be Encore's music video, but that all got switched once A Goodbye, Farewell in Arms was made. And I actually got that name from Dead Sun's track called A Goodbye, Farewell in Arms by Johnny Three Tears. I was listening to them like, holy shit, I need to make a fucking beat that sounds like that, dude. That sounds too fucking good. And I'm I'm really happy that that's what I got. It's pretty cool. And the whole process, really, making this album, I really listened to a lot of, well, for me, a normal amount of Hollywood Undead. To most people, extra. I could say extra for a long as fucking time. I could say that shit for an hour. So, yeah, extra 1 hour later amount. And I was listening to America Tragedy. I was listening to some Notes from the Underground, which is really cool, which if you notice, if you're a fan of Hollywood Undead, From the Ground is the second track. It's on this album, on Hourglass, but From the Ground is also the second track on Notes from the Underground. And then for the fourth track, or the fourth or fifth track, is the same track on Lion. And Lion is also the fourth or fifth track on Notes from the Underground, if I'm not mistaken. Which is like fucking crazy. And A Goodbye, A Farewell in Arms is the last track of fucking The Abyss for Dead Sun, Johnny Three Tears. And at that time I was also listening to a lot of Encore. Yeah? You good? You okay? She shook her. Oh shit! I was listening to a lot of Encore. I was listening to Encore, the deluxe edition, and then I was listening to some of Eminem's unreleased shit. Probably the same amount as Hollywood Undead, really. And that's where I got the idea of, Encore, because Encore was also going to be the last track of the album, and Encore is the last track of Encore for Eminem's album. So, yeah, it's a fun process. It's really fun. This was different, like I said, because I never did anything like I did with this album. The last two albums are very similar for the way that they were made, but yeah, this album had more time, and I kind of liked that, but at the same time I didn't. And I tried it again with the next album, because my next album is already done, ready for next year, which, I mean, is okay, but I don't know, gets me overthinking, gets me nervous, because, like, yeah, I like it now, but will I like it then, or, will they like it then, I don't know. Yeah, man, that's crazy. And for the second question, we got, was there any alternate covers for the album? There actually was. There was, I want to say either like one or two. I think one was just supposed to be an hourglass. It was literally just supposed to be an hourglass running out of sand, kind of like from Set It Off's album, Midnight. Midnight. It was gonna be like that album cover, but I was like, well, let's see what else we can find. And I was really debating on the two, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I like this one. And then I changed the album cover, which you guys know today. I switched it. I was fucking around with it, playing with it a little bit, and it was actually on Snapchat, and it made it look like it was like there was like shades, like blinds on a window, but they were closed, but the sun was still peeking through. It was really cool. I have to have it somewhere. I probably don't because that was on my old phone. Maybe I should charge up that one and post it. Maybe I have already posted it. Maybe it's in another video. I think I have shown it in another video. So if you go through there, some of my old videos, you might be able to see it. But if it's not out after The Abyss, then it's never been out, obviously. Yeah. Pretty baller. The third question is, how do you know what you wanted the album to sound like? I kind of answered that with the first question with From the Ground, but as I was making it, I realized that it wasn't. Then halfway through, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change this up. The last two had a story. I want this one to have a story, but I also wanted to, be standalone. Granted, I think the last two albums are standalone, but there's also like I say, there's also other ways you could look at it. You could look at it as one part where you're sad, next part, you're mad. Now this part, it's like you're mad, but then you slowly lose your anger. Because with this album, it tells a story about, it's a lot more easier to be mean than it is to be nice. So with the first half of the album, which I'm going to explain in my podcast, talking about the album and shit for the first episode and all the tracks, it takes you on this ride, and it can be you that's riding the ride, it can be somebody that could be riding the ride, but basically, your inner beast is your lion. And then, through the track, you listen to it. Then you're moving on. And it won't break you down no more. And then, you can say goodbye, farewell in arms. Because, you've come to terms that, you were that person, but now you're not that person anymore. So that's why I feel like a goodbye, farewell in arms is, letting go of the past and being able to walk away without, being like, damn, shit, that's just, kind of how I look at it. Yeah, man, pretty cool. And then for the bonus question, I know I'm gonna get it at some point. I always do. Does this album have a mask? Now, for those of you guys that are probably wondering, what the fuck? Why would I have a mask? I do masks for my album. For my albums, because I'm a big fan of Hollywood Undead. Hollywood Undead did theirs, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let mine go away. Fly Away had a white and black bandana. Paradise had a fucking multicolored bandana. Angels with Wings had a purple bandana, which used to be my papa's. Then The Abyss actually had a mask. It had what is it? Gas mask. It had a gas mask. And then for Hourglass, it goes back to a green bandana. Which, you know, I like the bandana, but at the same time, I also did like the mask. The mask was cool, so I might have to bring that back. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna have to find a picture of it or find it. I don't know where it's at right now. The mask with the album, which I'm gonna start making videos with me in it, so you can see the mask. You know, because you don't really get to see it, but I can't wait to start showing the masks. It's gonna be so fucking pussy popping. That's just gonna be ball as fuck. But yeah, man, I hope I answered you guys' questions really good. You know, I hope you guys are happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave some more comments, man. I fucking love reading over them. I love answering them. If you have anything you want to ever say to me, please let me fucking know, dude. It's always fun. I love it. I love, you know, getting comments. Love seeing them. Granted, I don't get that many comments, but you know, when I do, fucking love them. But yeah, man, always active. If you guys have something to say, you know, just leave it in the comments. I'll most likely answer it. And yeah, man, fucking baller. Make sure to go and fucking bump the shit out of Hourglass. Bump the shit out of the alternate edition of it. Alternate edition, or the alternate version, whatever the fuck. So yeah, man. You're a medicine, man. We killing the game. We're really killing this shit. Hourglass is on YouTube Music, and Hourglass alternate version, alternate edition, whatever the fuck, is also on YouTube Medicine. YouTube Music, on YouTube Music. Yeah, man, it's fun. Thank you guys. Love you.